Ready to Love, Make a Move, Season 1, Episode 1. Okay, now y'all know I'm a huge Ready to Love fan, so it was obvious that I was going to watch Ready to Love, Make a Move. Okay, on top of that, it has people that I've seen all the episodes, so it has people that I'm familiar with, so I like that too. So if you're not familiar with what's going on, Ready to Love has a spinoff show called Ready to Love, Make a Move, where you got 4 past Ready to Love baddies that are going to be dating these bachelors with the help of a matchmaker. And the matchmaker is Tamika Lee. She was on Southern Charm, New Orleans. Okay, so she claims to know all of the eligible bachelors in New Orleans, I guess, that are successful, or I can't remember what the other word was, but like she knows a lot of them. But I don't think that all of these bachelors are from New Orleans, so she may not know all of them, right? But you know, for the sake of TV, we're gonna say that she handpicked these people, I guess. I don't know. They didn't say that. I don't know. So we got Ashley from season 1. If y'all have not watched season 1, like, I need you to watch season 1. Season 1 will give you a good idea of what we're all like waiting to see again in this show. Season 1 was like what got us hooked. Ashley was in that season, and Ashley is like the type of person, she's a big personality, but she comes across as a really sweet girl. She connected with a guy named Alex, right? And it was like chemistry. You could see the chemistry, between them. But Alex got sick, and he caught a flu that spread to his brain that put him in a coma. So she was like, this was like right at the end of their situation. So she was praying for him, supporting him and things like that. But while she was supporting him, she found out that he had, cars in other people's names, houses, his apartment in other people's names. His real name wasn't Alex. He basically lied, and she asked him not to embarrass her or lie to her, and he did that. And the show is like a national show, so people knew about it. So anyway, Ashley comes from that season. So she was on a season where things were genuine and they were able to find some connections, okay? That's one thing I want to point out. Because we also have Vernisha. Now, Vernisha was on, I think, the Houston season. She was on a Houston season, I believe. It was season 3. That's what I do know. But Vernisha connected really quick with this guy named Joel. Joel was from New Orleans. I think Vernisha's from New Orleans too. And they just had like an instant chemistry. Everybody, it's the chemistry that we look for on Ready to Love as a viewer. So they did have that, right? But it didn't, 2 weeks after, I guess, filming, said she was moving too fast or something like that. Then you got Charisse. Now, Charisse and Zadia are from seasons where I feel like the tide had already started to turn on Ready to Love, meaning the season that Vernisha and Ashley came from, those seasons had genuine connections. And I'm not saying these other seasons didn't have genuine connections, but a lot of the bullshit that has become a part of Ready to Love has started to happen by the time Zadia and Charisse's seasons were being created. So I think that the experience that Ashley and Vernisha had is probably different than the experience that Zadia and Charisse may have had. Like, even as far as the options that were there just to date, right? And the seasons that Zadia and Charisse were on, a lot of people on both of those seasons were there for other reasons other than finding love, right? So I think this is going to be a great experience for all 4 ladies because they already got their feet wet in reality TV, right? So now here's another situation. Zadia and Charisse do have a chance to come across different than they came across on their seasons, right? You remember Zadia mushed Dante at the end. She had an emotional outburst that ended up in her mushing a dude in the head. And then Charisse had the situation with Zoe where they had he was yelling at her and stuff like that. Charisse kind of came off very hard during the season that she was on, and she got critiqued a lot. So hopefully both of those ladies will have a chance to redeem themselves, because this is going to help us see them in a different light. Like, we've only seen them dating on Ready to Love in that like competition-y vibe, right? This show, I feel like, is going to bring out something different. You know what I mean? Okay, so the ladies come, they arrive to the house, and they're discussing their past seasons and situations, just trying to get to know each other. Ashley does go over what happened with her. So Sharice did have a cutaway that said if she gonna move for a man, then he has to be worth it, and he better be able to afford it. I don't see Sharice moving. I don't see Zadi moving either, but, you know, it's open for Ashley, because I think Bernicia is already in New Orleans. I don't know. I know she's from New Orleans. I don't know, but I don't see Sharice moving or Zadia, but we're gonna see if they met somebody, right? Because maybe the dude will move there. Maybe they should have made it like that, like Ready to Love, Ready to Move. Will the man move to where they are, right? So the matchmaker shows up and she introduces herself to the ladies and lets them know that she is going to be a part of their process. The ladies are excited to see the matchmaker. I, think that this is a good element because there's some other authority involved other than just the women making decisions all willy-nilly, right? They're going to get some kind of guidance. So then the matchmaker right then and there tells them that she's invited the 25 guys to come over to the house and she wants the girls to go get ready so that they can meet these guys. It was funny because the part where she said that she invited those guys over there, Zadia looked around as if like she thought that they were already in the house. Now that is some shady shit that Owen would do, but she was kind of like, what is happening right now? They're not here right now, are they? But anyway, the ladies go get dressed, and so they go outside on this porch and all the guys are outside. So each of the ladies have to invite one man to spend more time with them that night, right? So I'm looking at the dudes. They really didn't show them all that much, but I'm looking around at the dudes and I'm like, I don't really see too many people just off of looks that I would pick, and it's unfortunate because that's all they had to go off at that point, right? The ladies standing up there, they're looking nice. I rock with Ashley's choice and I rock with Vern's choice. For the other two, I don't know what Zadia was thinking, and I don't know what Sharice was thinking. For Zadia, I know she likes a certain type of dude, but I don't know. I gotta see all the rest of the dudes because I was not thinking that she would pick that dude. He ended up being like a school principal too, which I was shocked about too, trying to picture him in that role. But they, anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So the matchmaker's also telling them too that by them picking these guys, it'll give her more of an idea of what kind of guy they're attracted to, so she can help them make some choices, right? Ashley picked Donald. Okay. Vern picked Jabari. Okay. Sharice picked Antonio. I wouldn't have picked him either. Anyway. And then Zadia picked this guy. Now, listen, looks are not everything. But once they got inside to talking, when Zadia starts talking to him, that conversation was dry as whatever. It just didn't go good, right? And so I just was like, why did she pick him? So then Ashley talked to Donald. Looks like they have a little connection going on there. Vern talked to Jabari. Seemed like they, kind of instantly clicked. Vern has that kind of personality that she can connect with people very easily, right? Which is why she was able to have like an instant connection with Joelle and stuff like that. She seems like she's very open socially. And so I noticed that about her. But her and Jabari had a good conversation. Then you got Zadia and Richard. I think his name was Richard. He's a school principal. This was a tough conversation the way they showed it to us. It looked like this was a dry ass conversation. I still don't know why she picked him. Like, what? That just goes to show you, looks are one thing. But if you can't have a conversation, your looks are out the window at that point. But the way that he was talking to Zadia, he was really like on some type of interview style. He should have just been having a conversation and kind of letting things flow, because he was just firing off these interview questions and she was not feeling it. So Vern and Jabari connected with each other and they found out they both have daughters at the same school. They had a lot in common. Now you got Sharice and Antonio. Now they do find out that he has family in Baltimore. She's from Baltimore, so that was something that they had in common. He's a Marine Corps engineer officer. Now I would like to see him in different settings, okay? Because, I don't know, he is not my cup of tea. And we'll get into that momentarily. So the ladies, after they talk to their connection that they picked, they mingle through the other connections that the other ladies, that each other picked, so they can see, you know, if there's a spark there as well. So I told y'all they all dating the same dudes, okay? So Zadia and Jabari kind of connect and have a good conversation. They found out they went to school in the same area, but then they're years apart. So he said, we might know some of the same people. And she was like, how old are you? He said how old he was. She was like, we probably don't. But they had a good conversation nonetheless. They had a bunch of back and forth. So they meet back with the matchmaker, and she lets them know, okay, y'all are going to pick your first real dates. You can pick from any of the 4 men that you guys met. So that means some of y'all will be dating the same men. So here we go, right? Now, we already thinking back about how these conversations went when they picked these dudes. And so we know that somebody, whether it's Sharice or Zadia, is going to pick somebody else's man. Surprisingly, Sharice picked Antonio. She wants to get to know more about him. Of course, Ashley picked Donald. And then, of course, Vern picked Jabari. And Zadia picked Jabari as well. Because, I mean, she ain't had no choice. Like, they're not letting them pick from a big pool at one time. At this point, they could only pick from the 4 that they met. And Zadia didn't feel like she was making any connections anyway. So, like, that was the best of the crew, for real. Was she, you know, she wasn't connected with anybody. So Ashley and Donald go out on a date. They ate crawfish on the water, which was cool. I don't think Ashley had crawfish before. So she ended up calling them bugs and stuff like that. But they had a great date, and Donald fed her, which is like a typical Ready to Love thing. So Sharice and Antonio go on a date, and they go to eat somewhere. Antonio comes in a vest, and Sharice is not happy about his vest outfit, okay? Now, I have to say, like, I don't know what made him put this one on. Like, it's not like a bad outfit, but it's the print for me. It's the print for me. It's not even the fact that it's the vest. It's the print on the back for me. But so on that date, though, Sharice asked him, like, why couldn't he make it work with his 4-year-old's mom? And he was like, it was a toxic situation, and it just didn't work out. So she's really, like, pulling out, like, her red flags for him. He's 38, and, you know, he already has these kids, and the youngest one is 4. Then she asked him about cheating, and he said he cheated back in the day. So she, you know, I don't see anything here. I was actually surprised that they actually ended up on a date based off the conversation that we saw. But, I mean, they really didn't have a choice because they only had those 4 men. So Vern and Jabari go take a trolley to go eat. And like I said, Vern has the ability to connect with people kind of instantly. And she connected with Jabari instantly. But she said that she is not going to make the same mistake that she made last time in connecting off the break like that, like she did with Joel. She's going to, I mean, yeah, girl, you haven't even met, it's 25 bachelors. Like, you haven't even met any of the other men yet. Do not lock yourself in just yet. Jabari is cool. Y'all do look like y'all would make a cute couple, but no, girl, you haven't even met the rest of the men yet. So I'm sitting here talking like they're still filming. No, I know it's past, but like, this is what I was thinking. Like, no, girl, wait till you see the other guys. So just like the love experiment, where the ladies are 3 best friends and they're able to, you know, discuss their dates and talk about things and kind of, you know, have girls talk and stuff like that. I think this is where the ladies were able to get something different than they may have gotten from the regular Ready to Love, because they were able to, you know, discuss things and kind of bond since they were living at the same house. Now, the guys aren't there, but the girls are living in the same place. So I feel like that is going to bring another element, because we see Ashley and Zadia talking in the backyard, and Ashley gets very emotional about losing her father and things like that. Zadia was there listening, and I feel like we needed to see this side of Zadia, because we didn't get to see that obviously on the first Ready to Love season that she was on. But this is going to help us see another side of her and how she is friends with people, right? How she is in her friendships, or how she is with acquaintances, or situations like this where somebody's being emotional and sharing something personal with them like that. I like to see Zadia in that light. So the ladies meet back with the matchmaker to discuss how their dates went. Vern and Jabari. Vern said she, you know, checked. That was a good date. Zadia said her and Jabari had a good date, but she's got a lot of friend zone for him. Oh, I didn't see Ashley and Sharice talk about theirs. They kind of just switched to the relationship expert telling them that, unless I missed it, but they just kind of switched to the relationship expert telling them about their next date. So she says that for their next date, she's gonna pick the date, and then they're gonna meet back with her to discuss both dates, this one and the one they picked and the one that she picked. And then they will have to make a decision and let one person go that has the weaker connection and keep the person that they can keep building a relationship with. So we're gonna have to see how this goes, because that means people gonna be getting eliminated left and right. Because, okay, let's see. You got this connection with person A, right? And then this connection with person B. If you let person B go, does that take them off the table for the other ladies? Does that person go home altogether? Like, I don't understand that part. So, episode 1, we'll see how it goes. But that part is confusing me right now. So, at that moment, she says the new dates are at the front door. So, they show us this shot of these men coming up in there. And we can't see the faces or anything like that. We just see the little shots of them walking to the house and walking up the door. You can tell that it's men, but we can't see any faces. So, we don't know who these next group of guys are. I think that is going to be interesting, because a matchmaker is probably going to pick somebody that you might not even think to pick. So we don't know. We don't know how this is going to go. But I think it's still going to be interesting. I mean, that is a wrench I feel like that's throwing a wrench in it, though, when they say that you got to cut somebody. Like I said, I want to know, does that cut him out the group for anybody else to date him? What if somebody else is dating the same person, like, and you send them home? I don't get it. Yeah, I got to keep watching. But my overall thoughts of the show is that I think it's going to be a very good show. I think it's going to be just the beginning of many, actually, because while I was watching Kamisha Reviews panel, Carmen was on there. So they had some great conversation about it. Carmen was asked to participate in this concept of the show before they picked the people they were going to pick, and it brought a good question to my mind. Like, out of the past seasons of Ready to Love, who do you think, if you could pick your own cast to be on the show, Ready to Love, Make a Move, what 4 baddies from Ready to Love would you have picked for this show? I want to know, because that was a good question. I just took what the network offered me. But there are a few people that I would have liked to see on the show. I'm not sure how this is going to work out for Sharice, because she was saying that she wanted an older man. So a lot of these guys are not, but we haven't met everybody. Who knows? Episode 1, we'll see. That's my review. Those are my thoughts. Get in the comments below. Let me know, did you watch the show? How did you feel about it? Who would you have picked if you could have casted the women for that show? Let me know. I'm your girl, Demetra Jo. I'll see you guys in the next video.